Hello, everyone. As you read in the title of the video, this is about mental health and the importance, of a good, sustainable mental health and how it is sometimes difficult to reach that. Even if you say you have a good mental health, there are moments where it could be poor and then it builds up and then it just leads downwards. So I thought I'd explain what's going on with me, in my head, and my process with things, and I think it'll just make me feel better that this is out there. Lately I've been feeling this, just feeling in my chest, where it's not pain, it's sorrow. And what I mean by sorrow is, for some reason, I'm just sad. And often enough, I do think of positive stuff, because when you think of positive stuff, sometimes it's like, oh, it's good to have that. But sometimes the positive could go downwards. For example, I have a caring family. I have a dad, I have a mom, I have a brother and a sister, I have cousins, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpas, nanas, and all that. I have great friends. I work 2 amazing jobs. I work at Lowe's, a hardware store, and I work at a theater place, Burlington Student Theater. And though both those places I love, as well as at Burlington Student Theater, I also participate as a student to pursue my lifelong goal and dream to become an actor. And that's why I do YouTube as well. So all that stuff I see as beneficial. I have, of course, at work, I have great managers and just really nice people I get to interact with every day. But then I go back to the start. I have a loving family that cares about me, a father, a mother, a brother and a sister, but yet I barely see my brother anymore because he's off with his girlfriend, or he's, moving along. He's deciding on high school and not high school, college, and right now he's gone for 4 days on his week off with his girlfriend on vacation, and I don't get to see him, especially since right now it's winter break, so I don't get to see him anymore, and that really sucks. I don't really interact enough with my sister. I do talk to her, but we never have truly a proper conversation to where it could be memorable. I talk to my dad and my mom, of course, a decent amount. I do love talking to them, but that's what it is, though. It's a son and a parent. It's not properly, someone my age. So there's always that little barrier there that stops it from being a true age group interaction. So yes, I do talk to them, but there's that little thing there that just evades it. So it doesn't feel beneficial in a way. Then I can talk about my friends, of course. I have great friends. 2 you obviously heard on this channel, Steven and Alex. Then I also have my friend Armand and others from student theater. But even then, I could contradict that Alex and Steven live literally 45 minutes away across a bridge, so I can never see them on a daily basis, especially so that I'm always busy and they're always busy because they have work. Steven has karate, Alex has hockey, and here I have 2 jobs. I do theater and I do YouTube, so our schedules never connect. And even then, I rarely see them online, so I don't often talk to them. And that really bums me out. That brings me to a state where I'm like, man, I don't feel as connected to them as I should because of that. I love them. I will never stop loving them as friends because they're just 2 great individuals. But I just rarely see them. But when I do, I'm happy. And then I go with Armand. Of course, we have school and he's studying, and I always see him at school, and it's great. He also goes to theater with me, and I love that. But even then, some of the times we're in big groups and I could barely have that connection with them, where I'm having a conversation with them and I'm having something that's benefiting me, but it's not where it's too many people in one spot. It's where I'm having a conversation with just basically the whole group, and often enough I can't really chime in, because when I'm in big groups I really get closed off because I'm not the best at speaking in groups. I don't know what to add. When it's one-on-one and it's a conversation where it's like one-sided conversation where it's him then me then him then me, that's where I mainly benefit. But when it's a big group, I just don't know what to say, and I close myself off, or I say something often enough really dumb, and I have to apologize. Friends at student theater, that's always in big group scenarios. I never really hang out with them one-on-one, and that really mucks with me because I don't have truly a proper texting or like on-call relationship with them. Sometimes I do call, but it's me who's calling often enough, and that's rare. Of course, that bums me out. And of course, I'm constantly working. When I'm at work, I'm usually by myself in my department, taking care of 3 aisles of wood. And student theater, I'm working with young students, grade 6, 7, or JK, SK, and in the middle ground of that, as well as working with older staff members that are my age who are also in student theater with me, and it's just not the right flow. It doesn't feel correct because often enough, again, it's a big group and I end up closing off, or I say something that I feel like I have to apologize for, because I often enough, when I feel the energy up here, I go up here, because depending on the energy of the situation, I just go into different spots. And when I do ramp up an energy, I don't think before I say, and I blur something out. And like that really just is a big dagger to the heart sometimes, because when I feel this segments of sadness is when I'm by myself, really. It's never when I'm with an individual. And when I think about it, it's because I don't have a true connection. I often find joy in making others happy, in making people's days, and making just making everyone have something to say, wow, that made me happy. That's what makes me happy. I really like making others have a nice day or minute or second or anything. It makes me feel like I've a purpose, I've accomplished something. But when I mess up, I feel so guilty. And that one little mess up, that one little thing sticks in my head for a while and doesn't go away. And all these things that go on with me, and all these thoughts, I always find a way to put a smile on my face to show that I'm okay. But sometimes, most of the time, I feel like I'm not. And that's somewhat could be an issue. Because if I don't often explain myself, I don't often speak it out loud to an individual, I always talk to myself, because when I talk to myself, I can try to process everything and I put it all together, and that helps. It does, but it could also help to talk to others. And that's something I don't do often enough, because I feel like I'm the one that's getting the attention. I'm the one that's getting pitied on. I don't like being pitied on. I like being a guy who's always happy and is always cheerful and can make someone's day from bad to good. That's what makes me happy. That's what I like in a relationship or a conversation, is making someone happy. And that's something I work hard to achieve, but sometimes I need to think about certain stuff, like what makes me happy, what makes me joyful. And that is making others happy, but pushing so much happiness to one person, it's not really pushing it back to me. It's like I'm getting secondhand happiness. Like you get secondhand smoke, I'm getting secondhand happiness from that. And if I don't get rewarded on something, then sometimes that just dicks me over. And I don't know what to do. So I find different ways to make me, enjoy the moment. For example, creating, making thumbnails, making videos. Even though I don't have many people watching them, it still is nice that I am making something for someone to watch, and they are appreciative of my content, of my creation. Even though some days I feel like my channel's not going anywhere and that it'll never go somewhere, it's still really helpful for me to just create and put stuff out there, because one day maybe people are going to be like, wow, this is entertaining, and more people will watch. And when that day happens, I'll be overjoyed. But even now, I feel overjoyed with creating all this stuff. That's how I find positive mental health, is just creating. I love bringing entertainment or joy into the world, and I always enjoy doing that because that just puts a big smile on my face. So, how I find good mental health is I do that. Every single day I try to think of something that could be creative. But then I don't have the energy to do it because I have the feeling of sorrow in my chest, and I don't push myself to do it sometimes. So that really stops me. And sometimes when I go, oh, I have to record, it feels like a hassle because that sorrow in my chest is really making me go, maybe I shouldn't. And sometimes you gotta try to say to that sorrow is, not right now, and try to push it down for a second to just do something beneficial. And even then, it comes back up another time, and it does that, and you gotta try to push it down. And then it's just this endless cycle sometimes. But the moment that you do, and then you take the time to do that thing that makes you happy, it makes you feel so achieved, and it makes me smile. And I try to convince my friends to do stuff that makes them happy, and my family, I convince them to follow their dreams because it's important to do that. It makes you have positive mental health, and it's always important. And if you are having difficulties processing everything, it's good to find a professional therapist, of course, to help you process this stuff. Because when you're young or when you're older, it's hard because you got all this stuff going through your head. Because there's not really a moment where I could truly find something that would make me happy. Because of course I have school as well, because I'm in grade 12. I have necessary school that I have to do. I have performance tasks and exams coming up, and that's something I need to get done if I want to pass. And it's stressful. So it's good to have resources at your school as well, because I have the guidance counselors down there. They can help process stuff, but even then I don't feel like it helps. And that's something that is an issue somewhat for me, is that I don't push myself to go there as well. It's scary to do that, but it helps. The reason I wanted to make a video about this mental health is just mainly, if you've reached this far, listening to me ramble about a prolonged tale of my sorrow or my mental health, is if you made it to here and you listened the whole way. I just want to let you know that if you're going through this stuff that I'm going through, this mental barrier and all that. Just know that you're not the only one. A lot of people go through this. A lot of people go through those state that they don't feel a purpose. They don't feel a reason. Some people, they end up going down a darker road where they cut themselves or they kill themselves because they don't feel like anyone cares or they don't feel a reason to keep going. And that's really sad. And often enough, school bullies can make your mental health worse because they make you feel down about yourself. So it's scary when it comes to bullying as well because it just makes you hate yourself. And you should never hate yourself. If you hate yourself from a bully, then guess what? They're wrong. You're a great individual. No matter what it feels like, you're a great individual. But if you feel bad about yourself for things you're doing or things you're causing, and you can always take a reset. You can always stop and go, this is not right. This is not correct. I need to make a change. And make that change. Make that change for the better, for your mental health, for just your life. And if you make that change and it's a positive change, you will see it's better. Now, of course, don't force yourself to change your personality or change who you are as an individual. Make sure that change suits you, suits your needs as a person. Just know that everything that goes on, everything that happens, you're not the only one that goes through it. There are others in this world that goes through the same thing as you. And there's many that get through it. And there's many that don't. And the ones that get through it, they see the end of that rainbow and they go, wow, this this pot of gold of a life that I've now have, the pain I've got through, the trip I went through to get to this pot of gold, it was worth it. And when I reach there, because I know I reach there someday, I'm going to be so happy that I make it. That I reach that factor where I finally stop feeling so sorry for myself and sorry for my situation, because I have amazing things. But then there's that little thing that attacks you. And there's people that have less and they go through similar things. It doesn't matter how much you have. There's always that factor. There's always that questionable self. You're not alone. And it makes me happier to know. It makes me feel like there's a way through this sorrow, to know that there's others that made it through. To know there's others been through this. To know that there's people that could benefit you. That it helps me to know that my friends, they deal with this stuff as well. They deal with this mental health issues, and they know how to help you. They know how to build you up. Because if you don't build yourself up, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to make any progress. If you don't process these emotions, you're not going to make any progress to reach that end of the rainbow. You're just going to feel worse and worse and worse. And I've built that wall. I've built that wall where I hide everything in my head and I don't explain to myself. I built that wall up. And one little action saying, oh, I'm fine to somebody, puts down a brick before that wall. And you keep building it up, and it's hard to take down because it's a strong wall. And once you find a way over it, you will be happy. Not right away. It will take time. But you will feel happy. And you'll have a big smile on your face to know that, wow, that was rough, but at least I'm here now. That's all I wanted to really say. I don't have any more really to mention or to really add to the factor of mental health. But I'm glad I made this video. I took the time to look at my webcam and to literally speak to it. because it's good sometimes. I usually end these videos with like, oh, I hope you enjoyed, but I don't want to end it like that. All I want to say is thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope it makes you understand like different stuff and makes you feel like it's not just you that goes through this sort of thing. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.